Welcome to episode 99 of the OVWP podcast, the unofficial podcast of Ohio Valley Wrestling. My name is Jack Minogues.
99 episodes?
We are 99 episodes in.
99 episodes of Beer on the Wall?
99 episodes of, and something's not one. I don't know. I didn't land this.
Yeah.
I didn't land that one.
Yeah.
We got 99. We got 99 episodes, but an official 8-1.
99 left balloons.
I think that's about it, right? Did we get all the pop culture references for 99?
That's all I can think of for
Agent
now.
99, I think we have.
Yeah.
The big three songs.
99 Problems.
I got that one, kind of.
We
I didn't
both
quite
did.
stick it.
I said we got 99. I said we got 99 episodes, but an official 8-1.
I think Malachi was just trying to taunt me. Today we're getting into all the action from OVW Rise, a.k.a. OVWTV 1344, which broadcasts live from legendary Hot Point Davis Arena on May 15th, 2025. But first, I guess we'll do some tour updates. Brian Hines.
Once again, as always, every Thursday, OVW Rise, emanating from Hot Point Davis Arena, doors at 6:15, Overdrive at 6:30, OVW Rise at 7 p.m., OVW Rumble at the Raceway Series, Ponderosa Speedway, Junction City, Kentucky, Saturday, June 21st and July 19th. OVW Hard Reset at Hot Point Davis Arena, June 14th, 2025. There's a free all-ages show at Element Eatery in Cincinnati, Ohio on June 28th. Our favorite shows of the year occur at the Manchester Music Hall, and the next one is coming up on July 5th. And rounding out this week's calendar is OVW Independence Rage at Hot Point Davis Arena, and that is on July 26th. You can get tickets to all of these shows at OVWTix.com.
Before we take a break, Brian Hines.
Yep.
You bought something that's near and dear to your heart.
I did.
It's dominating our table this evening.
So
It's the only thing on the table this evening.
well, besides my drink.
Yeah.
So every once in a while, I'll be out in the wild and I'll see something, and it just kind of like calls my name. And at the time I left, I was like, I don't need that right now. And then the more I went about my day and ran my errands, the more I thought about it, and I had to go back and get it the next day. As you already may or may not know, I am a big fan of the Muppets in general, Sesame Street, and all that. So I saw this at Pops, and it is the Green Album, and it is basically a Kermit the Frog tribute album, and it has appearances by all sorts of newer artists.
Let me guess some of them. OK Go.
Correct.
Weezer and Haley Williams.
Yes.
My Morning Jacket.
Yes.
Did you just read
Yeah,
that?
I did. I just read it when
That's
I was sitting
fine.
on the table.
You did ask me about some of those before.
Yeah, I knew, but I knew that My
my
Morning Jacket was on there because I'm a pretty big My Morning Jacket guy, and it's I've seen it on streaming before, but I was not acquainted with the further compilation and who was on it until today.
Yeah, there are tons of great bands. I haven't gotten a chance to listen to this yet, and I was going to because I brought my little Crosley record player back, and I've got it hooked up in my apartment, and I listened to all kinds of stuff this weekend. I've been meaning to do that forever, but I wanted to show this off first.
Oh, I didn't realize it was literally the Green
That's
Album.
very green.
It ain't easy being green. It really isn't. But this record is I mean, it's beautiful. It's not been played. It's got a beautiful color, and I just felt like this would make me happy because Kermit the Frog turned 70 years old last week. I don't know if you guys realize that, but Kermit has been with us since 55. So,
Looking pretty good.
yeah, he's doing all right.
Looking pretty good.
Have you ever watched some of those older commercials? Like, he started in commercials.
I'm mostly familiar with Kermit the Frog in the sipping tea meme.
Really?
Yeah.
So
I mean, no, I've seen the Muppets.
The Muppets didn't really hold as big a place for you growing up as they did for me then, because it was a big deal at my house.
No, I saw Muppets Christmas Carol a couple years ago. I thought it was very good. And I mean, I saw them growing up, but like,
I need to show you some old school Muppet Show. Like, I think you would get it if you watched some old, because that is a puppet show for adults.
I don't know. I'm a Lidsville guy.
You showed me that, and I appreciated that when you showed me. But I mean, it's got a smart-ass humor to it, which the adult in me appreciates, but the kid in me still likes the OG Muppet Gang, and I always will. So I just wanted to bring that in and play show and tell with you guys. But that was really about it. Other than that, had a great weekend in Ohio with the boy. Had a lot of fun. Talked about a lot of stuff, and back at it this week with a vengeance.
I did some cool stuff too over the weekend. I cried to an anime for 22 minutes straight with Malachi. He can attest to this. I was bawling to this show about an assassin that has tentacles and can regenerate. Who's yellow and looks like an alien. I was bawling, crying to this.
He was not okay when they were watching it, and I was in the other room, and then they came, and they were not all right.
He tried to get me again yesterday with How to Train Your Dragon 2, but it didn't work. Didn't work as well. It didn't work as well.
Wow. Well, I mean, that happens. I guess congratulations. I'm sorry.
It was a good time. It was a good time. I needed it.
Okay, sure.
Needed it. We will be back right after this.
Hey, folks. OVW Podcast Executive Producer Tiny Brian here with you this week. This episode is brought to you by Sudafed and NyQuil.
Whoa. But now when we're getting paid, those are some big brands.
Well, it's not really that they're paying us. It's that if I didn't have access to some Zyrtec, we would not be here because I got stomped on by some pollen yesterday, and I'm still not quite recovered.
Is that what it is? Because I felt it too. Yesterday I woke up and I felt awful, and today was a little bit better, but I had a ginormous tea, like a really hot tea, and that helped. But if it wasn't for that, I'd be right there with you.
You were literally sipping tea?
Yeah.
Like Kermit the Frog?
I was.
He was. I would not. No, I don't put that at all past him. But had to go to Louisville Monday. Spent 4 hours in a restaurant because I had a couple different meetings, and had a scratchy throat all day. Oh, it was me and the bosses. Had a scratchy throat all day.
Was it the Chinese buffet?
It was not. It was in fact Drake's.
Well, that's on you.
They're not They're not sponsoring us though. But I woke about.
I like Kendrick's as a topical joke.
About 11 o'clock Monday night. I just suddenly was awful, and I took some NyQuil, and then I was a zombie all day yesterday. As you can attest, Jackman.
Yeah, I had to run by your apartment last minute to do some work stuff for the day job. Mm-hmm. And I assumed that when I had woken you up because it was kind of early in the morning when I headed over there when I called you. And then when I met you at your door, I realized I had not just woken you up. You had gone through hell and back. You didn't look great, buddy. I'm not going to lie to you.
It was not a good day. And there was a moment when you came over and were watching How to Train Your Dragon. We were going to.
Dose.
Yes. Going outside, you both kind of gave me a, hey, are you okay? Which really kind of was like, oh, no, what am I doing? What is happening?
He tried to grab at a set of keys for no less than 7 or 8 seconds. It was just like, kind of like like a claw machine that wasn't fully tensile. Just kind of palming at these keys. It looked like he had a small stroke. I was very concerned.
So anyway,
it's the ad read.
No, this is the whole ad read. This is all we're doing this week. I don't have anything else to talk about.
BluegrassHomefront.com?
I mean, sure, but it's not happening. Why? Because I got curb stomped by pollen. So thank you to the medications that have allowed me to get through pre-production so we can do this. Now back to the OVW podcast.
All right. Thanks to Gladiator Sports this week and every week for the use of their clips during this show up in our magic window. It's been a great addition to the show. Very glad to have them, so thanks a lot to them. First match of the night, Brian Hines, Angelica Risk and Rachel Lay.
Yes, that's right. Good to see Angelica back 2 weeks in a row. Do I sound okay? Because I don't have anything in my headphones.
Yeah, you sound great.
You sound great to me.
You sound great.
Okay, I can hear everybody but me, and I don't know why.
Plugged in?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just fooling with it during the ad read.
Well, we're hearing you just fine, so.
Okay. Well, anyway, as I was saying, it was great to see Angelica Risk back again. Everybody at OVW and Davis Arena was happy to see her. This was a good opening match.
Yes.
Very evenly matched opening match.
Between Angelica Risk, as you said, returning like she never left, I think a huge bonus to the women's division, huge addition to the women's division right now. And then Rachel Leigh is very athletic, has made quite the impression in her handful of appearances as well.
Yeah, she has a gymnastics background in college.
And it shows.
Right, yeah, right there, right off the bat.
And the thing about, Angelica Risk right now, though, is the women's division in action has been really, really great. I think that it did take a hit when you kind of lost Tiffany, Layla, and Holly, Hollyhood all at the same time. Haley,
And Ellie.
And Ellie all at the same time, literally all at the same time.
Yeah.
Having a consistent addition, hope to be more consistent addition like Angelica Risk, who already has a background and a connection with the fans. You don't have to do a lot of work to introduce her. You just kind of let her go out, and everyone will remember why her matches were so fun, and they liked her so much when she was around more consistently a few months ago, right?
Yeah.
This is just kind of this is going to be, I think, the story of a lot of Angelica Risk matches moving forward. Is we're going to probably open the show. She's a great show opener, and she's going to continue to pick up vital wins.
Well, don't forget about Rachel Leigh either. We're starting to see her more and more often.
Absolutely. And if Angelica Risk didn't have, the background that she had with the fans on her kind of, her first run a few months ago with OVW, I could have seen Rachel Leigh picking up the victory here. But I think you got to keep all the momentum in Angelica Risk's corner. She's too unique of a talent to water her down.
Well,
right?
and she's just, hard to stop.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, she's like a wind-up car. Once you wind her up, it's just boom, that's it. She's just going to keep going until she gets the win. That's just how it is week after week.
So much charisma, so much innovation in her offense. Really, really glad to have her back. I know that everybody at OVW is glad to have her back. We're seeing above us here just a little bit of a interaction between these two ladies happen in the middle of the match. We see there the big shoulder tackle from Angelica to Rachel. Rachel's on the ground. Oh, has that one. Angelica has that scouted from a mile away. A little bit too much ring awareness for Angelica. Rachel's a little bit too new to this, but she returns with a huge Hurricane Rana, which is insane from her. Those kind of off the mat gymnastic style maneuvers she's going to be able to work wonders with those. The more and more that we get to see her. So let's see our next clip, please. Kind of see Rachel ready for the fight, and Angelica maybe playing a little bit of possum there to get Rachel in a less advantageous position.
Ooh.
Looks like
drop kick right to the breadbasket.
Looks like Rachel's going up for a springboard of some sort, and then we have this huge drop kick that just makes Rachel crumble.
As impressive as a move as that is, and the gymnastic background, you can't have a frilly match against Angelica Risk.
No,
you've got to stay on top of the situation, because she will, easily, get one over on you. And she's shown that time and again.
I think that's a great observation, actually, is like this is definitely a match of like styles make matches.
Yeah.
Right. And Angelica Risk is like she can showboat, right? She could
and does.
And she can do it with the best of them, right? But at the end of the day, like she never forgets why she's there. Like
That's
she
right.
might have a little fun razzing you. She might have, make fun of you a little bit, rub her butt in your face, whatever she does,
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, she's going to come and kind of, she's
there for a purpose.
Yeah, she's there for a purpose. And let's go ahead and see this finisher that that Angelica has been wiping people off the mat with.
I went back and watched the finisher to this match a couple of times, and the setup is getting her opponent in the corner, the super kick to the face, and then, this just is flat out impressive. It's like a corkscrew sunset flip bomb off the top rope.
I've never seen anything like it.
No, I haven't either.
And it's so tight. She's such a tight operating space when she's pulling this maneuver off.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it just looks devastating. Absolutely wonderful stuff from Angelica Risk. All the momentum in the world is on her side.
Is it possible this is a little? I mean, this is almost the exact same, kind of motion for motion what we saw her do in the opening match last week.
No, this is it, man. This is the finisher. This is what people are going to want to see.
That is a huge nail in the coffin for any opponent.
Yeah. This is what people are going to want to see from Angelica every match now because it's that good of a finisher.
It really is. It's so I've never seen anything quite like it. With the head tuck right here, where she's tucking the head, then she steps back and does. I've never seen someone do that to somebody in wrestling.
As if a super kick isn't enough, right?
Yeah, we're gonna get the
that's a hell of a setup.
blood in your head first, and then we're gonna kick you.
And then just the smart pin with her heels right over Rachel's shoulders there.
Yeah.
Just really great stuff from Angelica Risk.
That's a hard one to beat.
Yeah. I think, though, that maybe my not favorite match of the evening, but probably my favorite segment this evening was up next with J.J. Lawson, with Drew Hernandez and Tony Evans.
Really?
Drew Hernandez is a wrestler that was around a lot when I first started going to OVW shows, so it's like nice to see him back. I see him all the time on GLCW posters and shows. I know he's kind of within this circuit. Just kind of seems like he's had some time away from OVW, worked a lot on his game. Looks a lot. He looks better. He looks bigger. He looks better than he did a few years ago in OVW. I guess about 6 years ago at this point.
Are you surprised to see him as Tony Evans' new enforcer? Superior Tony Evans, that is?
A little bit, actually, because I'm surprised a guy like Drew Hernandez hasn't been around OVW in the time that we've been covering it more often. We've seen him before in the time that we've been covering it, but I think it was just one time.
Yeah, I think so.
And so, honestly, I'm not surprised that Tony Evans got an enforcer. I'm just a little surprised that we haven't seen more of Drew Hernandez and that, like, this is his introduction back into the world of OVW.
Like, we didn't see him first and then kind of see the initial meeting and the story progress to where now he is the enforcer.
All that stuff, yeah. All that, good wrestling
That's a fair
stuff.
point.
But also just, like, he's obviously kind of, he's been at OVW before. He's at GLCW. He's kind of, like, in and around these other guys. It's just we usually see the same, handful of cats, and it's just weird that we haven't seen more of them. But I think this is a great spot for him. I knew that Tony Evans wasn't going to go very, very long without having an enforcer of some sort. There's nothing for Tony Evans without someone in his corner.
Yeah.
And I also thought this was a great spot for J.J. Lawson here to really put over how big and bad Drew Hernandez is and have kind of another what's the word I'm looking for? Opportunity, I guess, a spotlight to kind of show what he can bring to OVW. He's an overseller, right? He's really, really making Drew Hernandez look just like a world beater, right?
He's not really having as great or as an exciting a night as he had the previous week.
Right. No,
with the big 450 into the rest of the participants in the scramble match.
But a moment like this and like getting flung into the corner by Drew Hernandez and like almost dislocating your shoulder, or that's what it looks like because he hit those corners hard, man. Having a moment like the 450 splash, you also have to have moments like this. Like, you don't get to, at OVW especially, you don't get to just
be cool.
Show off.
Yeah, look at those strikes.
Yeah. And the people
Hernandez.
that do get to just show off and be cool have been there and put in the work. And J.J. Lawson is just a little bit more of a new face to OVW.
Look how dangerous Drew looks.
Oh, he looks like a madman.
He looks like the Sin City Outlaws should be his flunkies.
That's a good point. He
kind of looks like he would be not.
Maybe they all shop at Outlaw Express.
He kind of looks like he would be not in Cash Flow's gang in Tulsa King, but in
one of the rival gangs.
Of the rival gangs.
Yeah,
sure.
Can we see our next clip from this match too?
We'll go right to it.
that small thing right there of Drew Hernandez pulling J.J. Lawson up with a headlock.
Yeah, he meant business.
Yeah. J.J. Lawson thinks that he has a shot. He finds out very quickly he doesn't. Gets turned absolutely inside out by Drew Hernandez.
No, not even close. Not even with the exclamation pant.
You know who he kind of reminds me of, though? That's J.J. Lawson, I mean.
Who?
And you guys tell me whether or not I'm fair or unfair, but the way he sells is a little bit Luke Curtis-y.
I knew you were going to say that. And I don't know. I don't know whether they're on the same level. Maybe at some point they both will be, and I get what you're saying, but I think we got a little ways to go.
Yeah, I like Luke better. Don't get me wrong.
Well, and Luke, heel Luke as well was just such a different emotive seller than like babyface Luke was, and he just had more. He had more range than what we've been able to see from J.J. Lawson in that respect for right now. But J.J. Lawson right here, this is a great spot for him to just get turned inside out by the new Haas in the men's division, Tony Evans' new bodyguard, Drew Hernandez. Good to see Drew Hernandez back. I saw him beat Chavo Guerrero Jr. once.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, like he was, like you get penciled in to wrestle Chavo on an OVW show and then you beat him. That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah, that's a big deal, dude. Like,
okay, there's got to be a short in this cord because now I can hear myself and then I can't, so I don't know what's going on. Just so long as I'm...
Could be your port is not plugged in nice and tight.
My port.
Yeah, to the extension cord on your headphones.
I think it's the joint on the actual plug itself. I can kind of, if I move it one way, it works, and then it doesn't. So it is what it is. If that's the worst thing that happens today, we'll be fine, right?
Yep.
That thing's got a joint?
No, like right there.
Up next, Jake Lawless and Luscious Lawrence are discussing their problems when Cash Daniel comes to encourage them. Kind of an interesting role for Cash Daniel right now. Been on TV a lot for someone that is very recently graduated from the academy, but like he's got real star potential. He's got real star power. I mean, the day that we came in and he talked to us, it was like, oh gosh, like this guy is. He's just there, right?
I didn't even need to say anything.
No,
I did not utter one word on that recording. As soon as you said something, he was off to the races. He's just
off to the races, yeah. And so he looks massive. He looks great, right? And he can talk just as well as anybody can, almost at any level. But we're at an interesting spot with him right now to be all over television. And I think that there might be inside of this sketch, encouraging them, like talking to, guys that have been around a little bit longer, trying to encourage them, trying to do like
a lot longer.
The football player thing, right?
Yeah.
The team thing.
Next man,
the coach,
I think he literally said next man up.
The coach thing, right? And talking to Luscious and Jake like that, they're not gonna like go full heel turn on you and like talk bad about your mom or anything, but these guys have been out there. They've been representing OVW brand for a long time, right? And Jake wants a little piece of Cash Daniel. I think that there's a lot of people right now who probably could say the same thing.
Well, yeah,
and he's gonna get it.
He's gonna get it, and it's good. And this having Cash Daniel around someone like Jake Lawless is only going to benefit Cash Daniel in the long run. Like, Jake Lawless has been wrestling for a long time, been in a lot of different situations, knows what the assignment is going to show up and do it. And I think that having Cash around people like Jake Lawless is going to be very beneficial to him in the long run. Up next, we see our new tag team champions, the Trifecta, versus the Sin City Outlaws.
I was surprised that their first opponent after winning was the Sin City Outlaws.
Who would you have penciled in?
Oh, I didn't have anybody in particular. I just thought since the Sin City Outlaws were so new to the OVW scene that they probably would have been a little bit further down the list.
I could see that, but they have been around long enough to have a name change. So
that's
there is that,
Well, everybody changes their name at least once in the tag division. Hey, one more thing from that last sketch, since we're still talking about tags. They started that Luscious and Luscious and Jake started that talking about how they'd lost their tag team partners, each of them. Do we think maybe we see
Luscious and Jake Lawless tag team?
Luscious Lawless? That actually just sounds
Wait, what
great.
happened to Ryan Von Rocket?
He's on tour.
Oh, God. Yeah, it is the summer. He's on tour.
Yeah.
Let's see.
He's one of the few people that can still sell out some stadiums. You know?
Yeah,
It's hard.
you can't stop The Rock, and you never will.
Beyonce, it's Taylor, it's Von Rocket. That's basically it.
Yeah.
I actually think that that's a great direction for both of those guys right now.
Luscious and Lawless?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a great direction for both of those guys right now, especially with kind of Jake Lawless's last tag team partner being Ryan Von Rocket and how quick he started playing along with kind of Ryan Von Rocket's gimmick and filling in some spaces for Ryan Von Rocket inside of his gimmick, right? Be a lot of fun for Jake to do it with Luscious. Or, counterpoint, Luscious goes full rock and roll.
Like big hair, like 80s
Leather
hair.
pants.
Leather pants.
Like
I don't
see it.
see Luscious doing having the big hair, though. Leather pants, yeah, I can see that. Big hair, nah. But hey, who knows? I
spiky
could be
belt,
wrong.
spiky belt.
Depends on the mood.
Some cool boots.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Leather
the
jacket.
fur?
Possibly, yeah. Fur, yes.
I'm just saying. Why not? Why roll with just cream? Why can't we get some glitter in there? Like, why can't we make a real mess? You know, at Davis Arena. Why can't we really make those Al Snow Wrestling Academy, OVW Academy students really earn their
really
keep?
work to clean that place up after they're done?
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Is like, why don't we get some glitter on top of the cream and let's just go for it.
Well, they make edible glitter anyway, so why not?
Oh God.
Oh no.
No.
How about we escape that and get back to this tag team match? Oh, here we say.
I'm waiting to cream on somebody.
Not even the Wednesday show.
You say cream enough, Malachi wakes up. Why don't we get back to this tag match? I've got a nice clip to show you guys.
Sure, let's see it.
Oh, show us this clip. Swing and a miss.
Oh, a story as old as time. Brandon Beretta suplexing the hell out of somebody.
Then watch this. This is pretty great. Oh,
Ashton Adonis with the kind of I love Ashton Adonis after contact here when he throws that I guess he's like hitting them with his elbows, right? I love the way that he spins through it. Like he had so much momentum that he kind of ricocheted off of his opponent, right?
Yeah. And then they cut straight to Katina, who's out in the crowd giving the people the three-finger salute out there looking like he's about to steal somebody's lunch money.
Yeah, I love the trifecta, man. I'm gonna stop saying it because I've been saying it so much, but it's my favorite thing right now.
they're playing clean too. Like I didn't see Katina get involved in this.
No, he was just out there for taunting purposes only.
Yeah.
Well, and they've also done a great job in a short amount of time as making themselves believable of just being able to beat people.
Yeah.
Not even having to have Anthony Katina out there pulling people's ankles and stuff, right? Tying people's shoes together or whatever else he does out there. No, they've done a great job of building themselves and building themselves to be believable, just straight out, flat out winners.
In the course of a month, no less.
Do you think that if we have Luscious Lawless or whatever they're going to be called, do you think that that's like the ready-made feud for the trifecta? Because I've got to be honest, I'm not sure who else is there right now.
I mean, knee-jerk reaction is that would be about as solid as they come right now. But yeah, I don't know who else it would be.
And especially after this next in-ring segment, I don't think that we can even go back to some of the talking points that have been tried and true for us for so long, like Leo Fox and AJZ, or maybe the Revolution in general, right? Because
that seems to be disintegrating.
I'm a little curious about that myself. After
let's see the end of this match before we move on to Doug and his leather.
please.
This is a pretty great finishing segment too.
it's like a spiked fisherman suplex.
Look at Ashton taking the other guy out.
Well, and look at Brandon Beretta showing off, just holding him still for all that time.
Right?
While Ashton runs the ropes.
Yeah, you know what? That's one of the most obnoxious finishes I've ever seen in my life, and I love it. I think it's great. It's so unnecessary. He hits the ropes twice.
Yeah. This is the 8-step finishing maneuver knot. This is our second super, super busy finishing maneuver.
No, I love it.
I love it too, but...
And he goes back. I love Ashton Adonis going back for good measure, kicking that dude in the head twice.
Yeah. It's just everything.
All right, but let us get to the revolution of it all. With this next in-ring sketch, Brian Hines. Where do we start? Well, let's start at the beginning. Leather Daddy Doug comes out. He's
accompanied by Tony Gunn and Crixus.
He's got Crixus and Tony Gunn.
And he's got some things on his mind, and we're going to hear all about it. I've got some grievances with you people. We're going to go ahead and get this out in the air. He basically was more upset with the revolution than anything else. Appeared to be the message that he wanted to let everybody know. He was in a bad mood. He was not happy with the fact that Tony Gunn was gone for 4 months. Crixus was gone for 6 months. J-Rod lost the title. Leather Daddy Doug lost the title.
And then the thing Jackman just mentioned about Leo Fox and AJZ.
Yeah, he said he didn't even know where they were.
Which is what they said about Beef, and we've not seen him since. So I think that's a pretty good signal.
Well, we know where he's at.
Yeah, but yeah, that means they're probably not going to be back for a while.
Beef was cool, dude.
Beef still is cool.
Yeah, but he was cool.
He's just cool someplace else.
So Doug Basham, kind of built this kingdom out of tyranny, and now it's all crumbling, and he's paranoid, and he has his back to the wall, and he's blaming the people that 6 months ago, a year ago, he was calling the most loyal of factions ever. He's now blaming those that are closest to him, right? He's literally saw his kingdom disintegrate around him, slowly but surely, piece by piece. In just the course of 8 months, basically, from when J-Rod took the title from Layla,
start to finish.
Yeah,
about that.
So I guess what I'm trying to say, he's going off about every other member of the revolution, like you said, and Crixus and Tony are standing behind him, and there's a point where Crixus and Tony are kind of like, hold on.
Yeah, I thought they were going to jump him.
I did too.
20 more seconds.
And here's the thing. I do have one question. Just wrestling logic question. So Cal Hero comes out and interrupts. How did Cal Hero know to interrupt the segment, right? How did he, in kayfabe, how did he know, how did he know they were out there talking about this and having the conversation that they were?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, he was talking about Cal Hero.
Yeah, but how would Cal know that? Was he...
He's backstage.
Okay. Is he, right at the wing, or, you think that maybe there's, a monitor?
Well, I mean, if they've been beefing back and forth for a while now, and they're out there running their mouths, wouldn't you want to see what they said? Wouldn't you want to pay attention?
If he was watching the same thing that we were watching, then he would have seen Tony and Crixus about to beat up Doug. So
maybe we just think they were going to. Maybe it wouldn't really happen. But I agree with you. There was a quick second where it looked like they were about to team up and beat him down and break a hip or something.
I'm curious from a wrestling perspective, and you're Cal Hero and you're watching this happen, and you have the same amount of information that we do at home. Wouldn't it be worth just waiting 20 more seconds, see what happened?
I think maybe not. I have a theory.
Okay.
I think
that the camera's invisible?
Yes, I think the camera's invisible. No. I think in Cal's mind, he has a long-term strategy not to win one particular match or come out of one particular kerfluffle looking better.
He wants to win the war and not the battle.
He wants to destroy the revolution. And yes, now he sees that there are these seeds of dissent within the revolution, Maybe he doesn't want to just he wants to let that continue to build. And the best way to do that is kind of draw them up and then interrupt it and let them go talk about it later. So that and it lets him at his time, presumably.
It lets him
reset.
control the situation more.
Yes, because he's added chaos to their system, as it were.
That's valid. I'm always like, there's small things in the world of wrestling, and like that's one of them is like the monitor. It's like, maybe if you're watching at the monitor, you have the same information that I as the viewer have. Maybe you just let them fight. You don't have to go interrupt them. I don't know.
I don't know, man. We'll just have to see.
The important part, though, here is that we have a match. We're 3 weeks out from Hard Reset. We already have a match for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's between Crixus and Tony Gunn and Cal and a partner of his choosing.
A player to be named later, as it were.
Any guesses, Brian Hines?
Off the top of my head, I don't know who else would have. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to have to think about it. You put me on the spot. You asked me too fast.
Malachi said it's going to be him.
It's not going to be him.
Good Lord,
That's
Malachi.
the long shot. That's the long shot horse.
That's enough time for me to get a life insurance policy on my son. You wrestling. You have not. That's a thing that requires training, kiddo.
I think
the obvious choice is Jamin Olavencia.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a return, and it has to be.
Yeah, but is he even in this dimension? Is he on Earth right now, or has he traveled to some other faraway place?
Wherever Jamin is, there's obviously transport there and back because he comes and goes. So I think he can book a ticket on whatever interstellar blimp that he uses to get to wherever he goes when he's not here and come back for this match.
Well, that'd be interesting. That would be the most logical choice.
You need to lay off the Sudafed.
Yeah.
Interstellar
He's
blimp.
manifesting a milkshake.
Jamie Olavencia is currently manifesting a milkshake. Like when that one time Malachi manifested a milkshake.
Yeah.
He literally pulled a Jamie Olavencia and manifested a milkshake. It's amazing.
I've heard that story before.
No, I think that Jamin is the obvious choice. I think it's probably got to be a return. I think it's got to be a big one. I think Jamin fits that bill.
We're talking Hard Reset pay-per-view, so it's entirely possible, but who knows? It could be somebody else that just shows up. Maybe it's Eric Surge.
I have Eric Surge would be a good choice, storyline perspective. I think, though, he'll be tied up with Mount Kadeem.
Yeah, I think that match is there.
Could be Dustin Jackson then.
Dustin Jackson would be fun on a pay-per-view. Dustin Jackson, Cal Hero Tag Team, Fanny Pack Party. That'd be fun stuff on a pay-per-view. I kind of would. I love Jamin Olavencia, though, so I'm kind of wanting to see Jamin Olavencia.
Yeah, me too.
I have another guest that I'm not going to say right now, but I'm going to pay very close attention to social media, and if I see something there that might indicate something, then I'll make my guess. But I don't think that person's going to be anywhere near Louisville, Kentucky for the next little bit, so we'll see. Let's talk about the hour one main event, Brian Hines. Going in strong, 4-way match here.
Yeah, this is the one that I was probably most heavily looking forward to. The women's fatal 4-way. We've got the lovely Miss Larkin, Freya the Slaya, Freya being a former tag team champion, J-Rod being the most recent former OVW women's champion. Mm-hmm. Sorry about that, I misspoke. And current OVW women's champion, Sophia Rose.
Heavy hitters, all heavy hitters here.
Yeah.
Like you said, we've got 2 former women's champions, and we've got like the current, and then lovely Miss Larkin, of course, who's just like the most fun thing going in the division right now.
Yeah.
Has literally fought her way into this, just kind of by sheer force of will.
Well, and I mean, it's because Miss Larkin you got to have her on TV.
Right.
She's great on TV. Like, you got to have her on TV.
I wish that they would create some sort of game show segment that was hosted by lovely Miss Larkin.
Oh, I mean, Miss Larkin with a talk show segment, book it yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, that would be amazing stuff. But these are the 4 big heavy hitters in the women's division right now. right? Angelica Risk getting there. Got to see her a few more weeks. Make sure she's a little more consistent. But right now, these are the 4 people that are really carrying this division.
Yeah, this is like the current Mount Rushmore of the women's division.
Absolutely.
Freya came in ready to make a statement. Y'all want to see it?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Is this when she manhandles Miss Larkin?
Like you see, that was her video package. Like that's how early in the match this is.
It hasn't even started
The
yet.
Chiron's still on. Yeah, we don't even
We're
have
sorting
a bell.
through masks in the corner and still worried about the invisible knife. And here comes Freya, beginning the beatdown immediately. The other 2 opponents aren't even in the ring yet. They haven't even been announced. But she's going to go ahead and get to work early and start taking her aggressions out on the lovely Miss Larkin, unfortunately for her.
Well, why wait? Why wait when you're this new version of Freya the Slayer? And you're telling everybody that you deserve to be there more than them. Why wait for a bell?
No.
Especially when you've got J-Rod and the current champion following her,
They all come in hot, by the way. Like every one of them, it's a similar. They run in and just start beating up on other people as soon as they're in there.
I think you had to. I mean, even Sophia, as soon as she runs in, hits Freya with a huge drop kick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, Freya kind of set the tone for this match by going and attacking.
I love that. I love
lovely
that.
Miss Larkin right off the bat. So everybody else just kind of followed suit, and it just went from there.
Yeah, you have really no choice whenever the match, the referee doesn't even have control of the match because he hasn't had control of it before the bell even rang.
Mm-hmm.
You have no choice but to go in and really fight like every woman for themselves at that point.
Which is basically what we got.
Absolutely. This
was
was
a great arts and crafts.
This was a great main event. I think that we're seeing kind of more synergy being built between Sophia Rose and Miss Larkin week in and week out, up to and including a spot like this. Them knowing kind of that, hey, we were probably not ever going to get the power advantage on these 2 ladies, so we're gonna have to come up with some unique offense.
We're gonna have to work smarter, not harder. That's what my Uncle Scrooge used to say.
And they come close to toppling J-Rod and Freya, but J-Rod and Freya, of course, just a little too strong for that type of thing.
What do you think the chances are we'll see a women's tag team match at Hard Reset where on one side of the ring you have Freya and J-Rod, and on the other hand you have Sophia Rose and lovely Miss Larkin?
I would have said 0 if you had asked me before this match.
Right.
I would say 20% now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's not
1 in 5.
Not totally out of the realm of possibility, but I can't see how Freya and J-Rod would be a consistent tag team. Because
that's the bigger
question.
question.
The way they were fighting amongst themselves in the middle of this 4-way match, there's a lot of bad blood there. There still is.
Yeah. And, I mean, just like the 2 strongest competitors in the women's division right now. The 2 hardest hitting competitors in the women's division right now, Freya and J-Rod. A lot of animosity between them from a character's perspective.
I'm still wondering about the reasoning behind Freya getting disqualified in her match against J-Rod. Like, I mean, you've got this shot; it's on the line, and then
we can think about that for a long time. I don't know if we're ever going to get the answer for that. What we're seeing above us right here is J-Rod hitting that spear, completely flattening out Ms. Larkin.
Knocks her in the next week.
But Freya kind of capitalizing on J-Rod's distraction right now, slamming Freya Freya slamming J-Rod to the ground again with Freya and the self-sabotage with J-Rod specifically. Had she gone for the pin, she would have probably been the new champion. Of course, Sophia's up by this point. Sophia's active by this point.
Yeah.
But that's 2 seconds of John
that
off
2 seconds
could have been the difference.
That could have been the deal breaker. And I'm going to let you in on a little secret. If you don't know how to get one over on J-Rod, make a circle with your finger. She will look at it every time.
When I was driving around yesterday for work trying to get that part replaced, I saw a guy that had just that on his the back of his car, as a bumper sticker on the back of his car.
I've seen a couple of those.
Just said "gotcha," and surprisingly, it was not our coworker's car.
That was my next question.
A total stranger. It's a total stranger. I don't understand. Back to your point, the self-sabotage with Freya. I guess she just is at this point. Maybe she's just seeing too red, right? Like she's she's just gone whenever she gets in the moment. Unlike Angelica Risk that we were talking about earlier, Freya's just, she maybe isn't there to win a match. Maybe Freya is there to just beat people up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's certainly starting to seem like it.
Yeah, well, I mean, she got that much done at least. We thought that maybe she would be the winner of this match, but
I certainly did.
Yeah, I certainly did too, but that was not the case. Sophia Rose comes out on top.
Surprise of the night was Sophia Rose hitting that moonsault and retaining.
Yeah, good for her. Congratulations. Still the year of the Rose.
Been a fun run for Sophia so far.
Mm-hmm.
Been a great year for Sophia so far, to be honest with you. After the match, though, we see just kind of more carnage. J-Rod won't get off of Larkin, et cetera, et cetera. Everybody's getting beat up.
Yeah,
nobody like each other.
The emotions run high, and they spilled out over at the end of the match.
So at the top of hour 2, starts off with our new champion, Eric Surge. He has that new belt. It's the United States belt. It used to be the National Heavyweight Championship. It's now the United States Championship, United States title. And this is kind of his, like, State of the Union babyface champion address, right? This is a tried and true wrestling trope. We got a new champion. Let's give him a microphone, get him out there in front of his adoring fans.
I love how he started off with, so what do you want to talk about?
Yeah. And to be honest, nobody is better than the State of the Union babyface set piece promos than Mr. Cody Rhodes.
Yep,
so if that's right. If that's what you're trying to do, and that's where you're drawing your inspiration from, there's nobody better. There's nobody better right now. Probably nobody better in modern wrestling history than Cody Rhodes as that babyface. I've got you. I'm going to protect you promo. I care about you. I care about this place, that type of promo. You know what I mean?
And a lot of that in this.
Definitely.
No one came out and challenged him, which I found weird.
I think that that's for the best right now.
Just let him speak his piece.
Yeah. He's got the new belt.
He's earned it.
We saw the challenge at the new belt. Mount Kadim is already out there at the belt unveiling. So I think that this is an important segment for Eric Surge. Get some important single microphone promo time.
He really did kind of connect with Davis Arena, I thought.
For the people that were there, the biggest fans of OVW, it seemed like a huge moment. The crowd was behind him. It just seemed like, I wish for him the crowd was a little bit bigger, right? It was
Raw was in town this week.
That's true. I forget Raw was in town.
Yeah.
But it's to have a moment like that, no matter what, it's fantastic. It translated wonderful on television.
It really did.
Eric Surge is very charismatic.
And Davis Arena's never looked better.
Oh no. Then with all of the updates and everything, no.
And Eric Surge was pretty handsome himself. Anyway, why don't we move on to the first match of the second hour?
Yeah, so we got Danny Limelight making his Rise debut. Anthony Katina is joined by the Trifecta. Danny Limelight, I'm going to go ahead and say this, not like the hugest independent professional wrestler, right? But a name that has been around for a long time, has a little bit of acclaim, has a little bit of a fan base, and the right size of name for people that I want to see more of in OVW. Right, I want to see more of that level of world-traveled independent wrestlers at Ohio Valley Wrestling, because I think that a guy like Danny Limelight, especially against a guy like Anthony Katina, would almost guarantee this is not the first wrestling match they've ever had together, based on how much they travel.
Yeah.
But I liked seeing guys like this come into OVW. I want to see not just guys like this. I want to see girls like this coming into OVW as well. I want to see additions like this to both sides of the division. People that you recognize from clips, people that you recognize from getting suggested matches on the internet, people that you recognize from reading articles about independent wrestling on the internet. Danny Limelight fits that bill right now.
And it was a solid match. I mean, we didn't know a whole lot. when we did the fan zone last week, I personally didn't know a whole lot about him, and I figured, given the momentum that we've seen from the Trifecta, it would be a relatively short night for Mr. Limelight. But that was not the case. It was a solid match. I see why he's there. I see why he got top billing first match of the hour and hour 2. The Trifecta came out together. They looked great.
Played it clean again.
They've got some. I like their new ring gear. The tracksuits that fit. They fit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, where they kind of look like they're on The Sopranos.
Yeah. Like maybe they're out for a walk, or maybe they're gonna go meet somebody and talk about cutting somebody's ear off later. I don't know. It kind of depends. I don't want to find out.
Go do some interior decoration, some painting,
sure,
et cetera, et cetera. No, I like their look too. Again, this is just like they've put this thing together in a really, really short amount of time.
Yeah, and done a great job of it.
Y'all want to see how I know they're the coolest kids in the room?
Sure.
This is cinema. Watch this. Well, come on, guys. Where'd you go? That is the next match.
Fail.
That's not it.
That's a deduction.
Anthony Katina on the outside.
See, here they are, track suited.
Belts on. Anthony Katina is trying to make a spirit bomb right now.
A spit bomb?
No, a spirit bomb.
I beg to differ.
From Dragon Ball Z. That's what it looked like. Anthony Katina up all the way on the third rope. That was like a frog splash elbow. Did you see the in and out, like the extension on the legs as well as the drop of the elbow?
I love how long. Wait, yeah, boom.
Kind of, yeah. It's pretty similar to the Macho Man Randy Savage, but it's got that little pump in the middle of it, like a frog splash does.
Yeah, he's got just a little bit of an extension, but yeah, massive elbow drop, just like Macho Man's. One of the oldest, coolest, thing. It's there's nothing better than a guy who can hit a good elbow drop.
I mean, he's never going to be the Macho Man, but
nobody ever is.
Yeah, nobody ever is. But that's a pretty solid finisher, an elbow off the top rope. I wake my son up like that sometimes when he comes to stay with me. He doesn't really appreciate it.
I mean, you got to. He's got to keep him in line. You got to let him know.
Well, I mean, I'm going to have to at least get one shot in before he decides to wake up because, my God, he's like 6'9" at this point.
Yes, so Danny Limelight is a exceptionally, I think, great wrestler. I think he could be a great addition to this roster. And I think he's very, very athletic. I think he's going to be able to make some very, very cool moments happen if he manages, if he does stick around. I don't know what, if this is a one-night thing or if this is going to be week in and week out. Only time will tell, as it often does at OVW. But it was fun to see him, and I think that there's a place for him if he wants to be at OVW.
Yep, as always.
Let's move on here to bout 6 of the evening, Brian Hans.
This is where we see, this is the OVW Rise debut of Kash Daniel, correct?
I thought he'd been on once before, but you might be
What
right.
was it, an actual match, or was he just out there talking smack with superior Tony Evans?
Yeah, it might be just a match. You might be right. This is his opening match on Rise.
Well, he did wrestle at the waterfront. That footage was lost.
Yes. We
we'll
do
see
know
it
that,
someday.
but as far as a live episode of Rise at Davis Arena, I think this is it.
I think you may be right, sir.
Either way, it doesn't matter. We've got Kash Daniels going against former and most recent tag team champion, one half of Loud and Lawless, Jake Lawless. Didn't really know what this match was going to be like. I mean, we know Kash Daniels' presence. We know the name. But at least me personally, not having seen the whole Waterfront show, having not been there in person, wasn't really sure what to expect. Part of me thought it, could very well be a thanks for coming kind of night for him. But we find out really quickly that that is not the case.
Well, and, there's a few moments, too, I think, where they illustrate kind of how much he maybe doesn't have a second nature for this quite yet, right? He gets mad at Lawless, shoves him to the ground. Lawless kind of says, big boy, I see you got something going on. And Kash kind of, in an effort to, I don't know, take the higher road or still be that team player,
offers to help him up.
And Jake Lawless has been around too long. Almost everybody in the OVW locker room has been around too long to be doing stuff like that with, especially someone like Jake Lawless. He pulls you up and around, and he's got the offensive position. Golly, I cannot talk today, guys. I'm so sorry. He's in power. He's in control of Kash Daniel pretty quick, right? And he kind of spends a lot of the match kind of putting the boots to Kash Daniel. You see him during the course of the match, do the Ryan Von Rocket inspired,
crotch butt.
Yeah, crotch thing. Crotch action.
I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, headbutt to the junk.
The junk.
I think it's the insane groupie. It's something like that.
What?
The name of the match. I think the name of that move is like the insane groupie.
You made that up. That is not accurate.
No, I agree. That is no. I don't think that's it.
He heard that one from one of those pink elephants he's been seeing all over on that Sudafed. I do. Can we see our next clip as well?
Okay, that's a pretty cool move from Lawless.
Step up elbow drop.
But that was
from
just
Lawless.
enough to piss him off. And Kash Daniels right here looks like when you're little and your dad's trying to sleep in and you and your friends are making too much noise and he finally has to get up out of bed and set you people straight.
And
I hope that's not how he set you people straight back in the day.
No, I didn't get a side suplex from my old man on a Saturday morning for making too much noise. But the look on his face right there.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, I made my dad that angry several times.
And I think
several times.
Most importantly, Kash Daniel learned a lesson tonight, which is this is kind of every man for himself, or at least for me right now, I have to treat it that way.
Yeah.
I can't be too worried about friends. I can't be too worried about hurting people. These people are not here to be my friends. These people are not worried about hurting me.
They are not your teammates.
These people are not my teammates, right?
They're your locker mates, and that is
These
different.
people are standing between you and your next paycheck.
Right. Yeah, and I think that in basically an episode of OVW, they've told a full story of transition with Kash Daniel.
And about 3.5 to 5 minutes.
Yeah, and in a very, very short amount of screen time. About 7 of the evening. So Brian Hines, this seems like more of your territory. They're going to shave each other? Jack Vaughn and Donovan Cecil?
No. It's not a hair versus hair match like we saw with Dude Love a few months ago.
We can't have another one.
No.
I cannot mentally deal with.
It's the mustache of Jack Vaughn versus the M on the back of Donovan Cecil.
I have a feeling that Miss Cecil was like, Donovan, don't you want to get rid of that thing?
Well, it doesn't happen.
I could see Mama Mammoth being like, well, why don't you go to Supercuts?
Oh, you look so handsome without that.
You really do. That's how I ended up cutting my hair for the first time, because I had long hair for like 13 years, and I went to Great Clips one Sunday and was just looking around because I thought, I've got like enough hair. I could get rid of some and I could donate it. And I was flipping through the books back when they used to have books of all the hairstyles you could maybe get. The stylist came out and she said, if you wanted to donate all that hair, you'd make somebody really happy. And it was like, son of a bitch, you got me. I couldn't not do it then because I kind of felt guilted into it. And that was one of the worst decisions of my life.
Did they send you a picture of like the person afterward?
No.
Like whenever you like adopt a cat or whatever?
Do you want to know what they send you? They send you nothing. They send you this.
The circle.
Squat.
I would really like to see, if I gave my hair to a charity, I would really like to see somebody else with a wig made out of my hair on top of their head. I think that'd be fantastic.
That would be pretty cool, and I hope whoever got it has a hell of a time with it, because I had thick, luscious hair down to my ass.
So basically where we stand, though, is that Donovan has beat Jack Vaughn 2 out of their last 3 meetings, right?
Yeah.
And, I think that these two guys are great in ring, and I don't think that I don't think you have to say too much to have an excuse to put them on television together.
No.
I think that this is I think this is one of the best kind of on and off feuds that we've had in OVW over the last little bit. Just really comparing each other, showing each other how powerful each other are, showing each other that they're kind of tit for tat, equally matched. Other than Jack Vaughn, of course, goes for the old Three Stooges routine.
There it is. Bonk.
There it is.
I kind of like the M on the back of Donovan's head.
He's the mammoth.
You know, this iteration of Donovan Cecil is kind of looking like Brock Lesnar. Like recent Brock Lesnar, long-haired country farmer Brock Lesnar.
Oh, I thought that was just a gimmick for like a month or two. And
Yeah, it was, but it was cool and I liked it.
yeah, it was all right. Yeah.
I mean, you know, we could talk about the value of Brock Lesnar all day long, but it was very funny to me when he was dressed like a farmer on national television.
And he drove to the ring on a tractor.
Yeah, and he tipped over a ring on a tractor.
Yeah.
It was very funny. It wasn't as funny as when he had the Money in the Bank briefcase and he turned it into a boombox. That was much funnier. Let's see the next clip here. See Donovan throw Jack Vaughn into the ropes, go up for a kick on Jack Vaughn. Jack Vaughn is grounded.
This really is a titanic match between Donovan Cecil and the veteran Jack Vaughn.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very evenly matched. Both men have a ton of power. Jack Vaughn pulling one over on Donovan Cecil, letting him get to the top rope, and then suplexing him off the top. It was so evenly matched.
Well, and I feel like this is the second time that we've seen poor Donovan Cecil fall into this trap where the referee won't let him get out of the way quick enough. Did we not? Or the referee won't let him jump quick enough, and then somebody takes advantage of him.
Well, the ref ended up paying for it because he kicked out, and Jack Vaughn landed up on top of poor Dallas.
He sure did. He sure did. It's so funny, man. Poor Dallas. What a wonderful addition to the refs team Dallas has been over the last little bit.
Him and his hair.
Can we see our final clip, please?
Sure.
I'm not surprised that this gets thrown out.
No, I think these guys have a little bit too much
It was
animosity.
too heated at this point. Daniel Spencer accidentally gets elbowed by Jack Vaughn, and then he tries to break it up a little bit, and they both shove him to the side, and that results in the double disqualification. So there's no decision on this one. So we still don't know who has won the best 2 out of 3, because out of 3, we only have 2 outcomes.
We're going to Stipulation City with this.
What do you think it's going to be?
I don't know, but it's going to be fun.
I'm hoping
Iron
for a
Mine.
best of 7. Maybe a 2 out of 3 falls match at the pay-per-view.
Yeah, 2 out of 3 fall will probably be it, which would be fun.
Interesting.
Jack Vaughn give away 1 right at the beginning with a chair shot. Just going to go ahead and call that. He's going to go ahead and give Donovan a fall right at the beginning and then take it back. And it's going to be funny. And I'm going to be like, told you guys. Let's talk about the final match of the evening, please, Dorian Hines.
Okay.
A lot to say here. Do you want to go or you want me to go? I'm sorry.
I mean, we don't know a whole lot about the newest competitor in the headlining match of Hour 2. That is the Obsidian Angel.
Nope. We sure don't.
Who won the right to challenge for the Rush Division Championship by winning that scramble last week. And he takes on the Rush Division Champion, your neighborhood superhero, Super Z.
Kind of honestly, was the fix in when the match was made?
Yeah.
That's kind of how I felt too. If you had pushed this back, if this was a match that maybe happened at the pay-per-view and what the Obsidian Angel won was a title match at the pay-per-view, I don't think it would have gone down this way. But on a Thursday night with how big the Obsidian Angel is right now, just 2 weeks in with a title shot, the fix was kind of in on this one.
When Icon Lee came out just minutes after the match started, I got to thinking, I see how this is going to play out.
And even with some of the best Super Z hope spots that I've seen in his run as Super Z, it's just not enough to kind of overcome the Obsidian Angel right now.
Well, I mean, it's not just the Obsidian Angel. You've got the Obsidian Angel, Icon Lee, Evil Z, and Star Rider himself, the criminal mastermind behind this whole thing. Boink.
Got one last Z punch. Looks like it's barely enough to. It's all the energy Super Z has. It's barely enough to knock over the Obsidian Angel. And let's go for it. Let's go for our next clip here.
And there he is.
Star
Curb
Rider
stomp.
with the curb stomp. Daniel Spencer.
It's
Icon
4-on-1.
Lee. Yeah, Daniel Spencer's distracted by Icon Lee and Evil Z.
4-on-1 against poor Super Z. I mean, Daniel Spencer can't even count that high. He can get to 3 most days, and then that's it. But it takes him a while.
And so that's the pin, right? That's it. New champion on a Thursday night. New Rush Division champion.
Obsidian Angel,
Super
but
Z is out. Obsidian Angel is in. But as you're saying,
immediately after defeating Super Z to win the Rush Division title, he relinquishes it to Star Rider, which was Star Rider's evil plan to begin with. But this is very reminiscent of Andre the Giant winning the heavyweight championship and then immediately turning it over to the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase.
you know.
So how does this leave us with the end of the episode?
The only thing I can really compare it to is in How to Return Your Dragon 2, whenever the guy controls the Alpha Dragon, and then that means that the Alpha Dragon controls all the other dragons. Super Z controls the Obsidian Angel. That means he controls the belt.
Okay. I watched How to Train Your Dragon when my son was 3.
I watched it yesterday.
And that was 13 years ago. So as far as I'm concerned, it's all pops and buzzes what you just said, because it doesn't seem like it's got any bearing on this situation for me. But I if that's how you got to frame it, okay.
No, obviously the classic wrestling analogy is the Ted DiBiase angle.
So where does that leave us? I mean, they're not going to let Star Rider just keep the belt because somebody was nice and handed it to him.
I think that's the biggest question as it stands right now, is how legal is all of this?
It's not.
Is the Obsidian Angel still technically the champion?
I doubt
He's just letting Star Rider kind of hold the belt because it's too heavy or something?
Probably not.
I think we got a lot of questions. I think that your head is in the right space, though, of that can't be right. Is it right?
That definitely ain't right. Break it down,
people
y'all.
get involved? Here's one thing, though, is that David Vox Mullen about an hour ago said that he had a special announcement. Do you think that could be the special announcement?
I'm pretty sure it's not like a Tony Khan special announcement. This is a real special announcement, and I would say that it has to do with this particular match and this particular subject. So, yes, I would imagine, if I had to guess, that Star Rider will be stripped of the title. The fact that the Obsidian Angel relinquished it means that he is no longer the champion, which means we are going to have to crown a new Rush Division champion. But the question is, how? We know who, what, when, and where, and why, but we don't know how.
Nothing like a big Rush Division scramble match at a pay-per-view, though. So,
you know how I love me some of those.
So we're about to get out of here, guys. We want to thank OVW. All of our OVW clips come courtesy of Gladiator Sports. We want to thank Gladiator Sports.
Thank you so much.
For me, Jack Minox,
Brian Hines,
Malachi, P.S. Woodard, Tiny Brian K. Woodard, Victor Anderson, from all of us at the Blimp, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and follow us everywhere at OVW Podcast.
Peace. We'll see you later.